Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aries, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings, so not everything's going to resonate with everyone, and that's just fine. Remember to use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Judgment card. I actually really like this card, not because it can often represent the blast from the past, but it usually represents a giant clearing of the decks, right? So in some way, shape or form, this is the end of an era. Something comes to a completion, but it's not like the Death card. The Judgment card tends to be a heads up that things are about to change, and usually for the better or in ways that you haven't anticipated as yet. It asks you to be conscious and present whilst remembering all of the skills and the knowledge that you've gained up until this point, right? So this is really important stuff. Now, the other thing that I will say to you as well, the Judgment card can often talk to and about ancestor practice and or worship. So in some way, shape or form, if you are so spiritually inclined or if you have a spiritual practice, honor your past loved ones, honor the people that you come from, honor your heritage in some way, shape or form. Tap into the energy, the magic, the love, the wisdom that is in your blood. All right, so before we start, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit the subscribe button. For those continued subbies, you know I love you for it. So your foundation card is the Temperance card, right? So very, very interesting. Both of these cards have that kind of energy. So the first thing that I want to say to you is this can be a powerful week, Aries. If you've got a strong emphasis of Aries in your chart, this could be a very powerful week for healing. It could be a very powerful week for spiritual insight or wisdom. It could be a very powerful week for spiritual discernment. Pay attention to what your intuition is saying to you. And when you get messages from, I don't want to say like messages from beyond, because it sounds really ominous and scary, but if you're doing something and you think, if I was doing this, my nan or my granddad would have said this, and it's a piece of wisdom that you remember for them, there's a reason that's coming up, and it may literally speak to something that's happening for you at this moment in time. The other thing that I want to say on that front as well, I would give some consideration this week to where you are being brought into stuff that maybe is quite frankly above your age bracket, right? So this is one of those moments, or below your age bracket. So maybe this is one of those moments where you have to leave the kids to fight it out, or where you have to leave the siblings to fight it out. And it's not about watching them tear stripes off of each other. It's about knowing when to intervene and when to just say, look, you know what? This ain't got nothing to do with me. You need to get on with it. For your actions and options this week, you have the Three of Pentacles. So this is really nice. I love this card, right? Because it's not just about study and learning. It's about truly deepening your craft. It's about taking things to a new level and understanding that at some point in life, with everything that we deal with and everything that we face, we are all students in some way, shape or form. So it looks like a lot of you are embarking on a new course of study. For some of you, this might literally be studying a spiritual practice or a spiritual discipline. Maybe you're starting a course in astrology or tarot or psychic development. Maybe you're going into mediumship. The other thing with this Three of Pentacles, don't be surprised if this week you come into a really powerful understanding of what your own next steps are. And also, I would be not surprised to hear that a lot of you decide to change something really big this week. Maybe it's only the decision and not necessarily the action. For some of you, this could literally be the results of hard work that's put in. So it's going to be an interesting week all in all. For your communications and conversations, you have the Nine of Pentacles. So you've got a lot of earth here so far. And the Nine of Pentacles, when it comes to your communication, this is easy communication. It's harmonious communication. A lot of the words that you're speaking this week, a lot of the conversations that you're having are going to be with colleagues or peers, very likely to be about the work, about the job, about the professional sphere in some way, shape or form. For some of you, it does look like you are embarking on some form of study that will feed directly into your work or create a new avenue for you to take your professional life in. For some of you, this is the week where you start something that is going to change your career, or maybe even change your career trajectory or path altogether, maybe even a different industry. Now, for those of you that are employed by somebody else, this is lovely. I think in a lot of ways, this week you are very likely to see the recognition for all the hard work and effort that you've put in. Another way that this could show up as well, like this week you could be demonstrating that you are the one that knows how to do it, like whatever it might be. Like this week you're demonstrating the skill, like you have that, you know, when somebody does something and they make it look easy, like this week you're able to do that and it's going to be noticed, like people are really paying attention to that fact. Especially with some of the new changes that look like they're coming up for some of your works or your professions. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is lovely. I think in a lot of ways, this is going to see you admiring some of your handiwork. I think you're going to have a moment to really stop and go, whew, you know, that was a really hard slog, but it's been some really good work. Like this week, I feel like you're able to congratulate yourself. It's not a moment where you get to kind of stop and just say, okay, that's it, I'm done now. But it is a moment where you truly get to acknowledge, okay, you know what, I've done some really good work here and things are moving in the right direction. For those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, sorry about that, this is really nice. Again, it suggests that you are taking time out or carving time out to really maybe to understand that actually you are the matriarch or the patriarch or the thetriarch of the family now. Maybe this is you taking time to acknowledge, you know what, I've put in the work, I've earned my stripes, it's time for me to enjoy whatever time I have left, and more importantly, it's time to use that time to best effect. For your love and relations, you've got the Eight of Swords. So love, partnerships, relationships could feel a little bit stifling this week. You want more fun and enjoyment and laughter, you know, especially with Mars being in the sign of Leo. And this week you might feel that, you know, with all of the good stuff that's going on, it kind of feels like maybe a partner or a family member or somebody that you're close to wants to kind of piss on the fireworks. And it's like, can you not just let me enjoy what's happening that's good or, you know, positive in my life at the moment, especially given how hard you've worked for this to happen, right? So I think this week you might feel some friction in the relationship and it feels more like it's stifling. And for those of you that are newly seeing somebody this week, you're coming to the understanding this week where you're likely to be having the conversation. We're either in or we're out. There's kind of no in between. For those of you that are single, I'm going to be really honest with you. I think at this moment in time, especially with this Eight of Swords here, getting into something more serious with somebody at the moment looks like it's going to halt your progress and probably put some of the changes that are happening on hold, and it doesn't look like you're here for it at all, to be honest. For your money and materials, you have the Six of Cups. This is right underneath the Nine of Pentacles. For some of you, this could be like an old dream, an old wish, something that you wanted to do to earn money from, that you always thought, you know what, I'd love to do that one day. Maybe comes back around. Maybe you're getting a second shot at the apple, which kind of makes sense as well with Jupiter moving back into the sign of Aquarius. So whatever opportunities we kind of feel like we might have missed throughout that, you know, that journey that he first made, with it coming back into Aquarius and then going to station direct and go forward later this year, I think that's where we're going to get to revisit some of the stuff that has already come up. So I really like this. I think this Six of Cups as well. You could be spending money on things this week that make you feel nostalgic, things that give you that sense of, oh, you know what, I used to love this. And actually, funnily enough, Leo is a very nostalgic sign. You know, it's not something that people necessarily associate with the sign of Leo, but it is. And with the energy of Mars, your ruling planet for your sun, moon or ascendant, it kind of suggests that. And so this week it's like you're spending money on things that truly make you happy, but they are luxurious items. It's not like you're spending money on crap. You're spending money on things that are, you know, they're going to last, you know, but also they bring joy, they bring happiness in some way. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I mean, the Six of Cups speaks to your gonads and all of your reproductive system, so just look after that this week. And then when it comes to your home and environment, I really feel like whatever you're buying this week, whatever you're doing with the money, it's to make life more comfortable and enjoyable, but it has an element of nostalgia to it. Like, you're bringing something back into the fold. All right, so this powerful new moon that's happening on the 8th of August, so right at the end of the week, you have the oracle card of the gate 55 and abundance. This is literally about trusting the universe, and it's about being able to say, you know, I can put it in the hands of the divine. I'm not in control here. I don't know what's going on here, but you know what? I can leave it up to the heavens and let that be, let it be what it's going to be. And it's about truly trusting the universe. It's not just about money, finances and resources. It's about actually being able to trust that the things that you set into motion have all of the chance to become everything that they can be. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.